Hi everyone. Today we're going to look a little bit more at chemical reactions, and for part of today's work you're going to have to make your own analogy for one of the 5 types of chemical reactions which was assigned to you in either in class or in the Google Sheet that is in today's post. And even though I use a lot of analogies about cooking, one of my favorite analogies to describe the 4 main types of chemical reactions is to look at it from the standpoint of dating. So in order to show you my analogy for synthesis or combination reactions, decomposition, single replacement, and double replacement reactions, I present to you a 4-act play called Chemical Reactions, an analogy play. The first type of chemical reaction is a combination, which is also sometimes called a synthesis reaction. And in a combination reaction, there are 2 elements that are reacting and coming together to form a new compound. So this would be like having 2 individuals. In my example here, I've got boy mouse and girl mouse, and this would be like them coming together to form a couple and start dating. So just to review, a combination reaction is given in the AB format. I give it as A plus B yields AB. And this time I've color-coded it so you can see in the example reaction what A and B represent. My example reaction is 2Mg plus O2 yields 2MgO. The next type of chemical reaction is a decomposition reaction. In a decomposition reaction, a single compound decomposes or chemically separates in some way to form its 2 original elements. So the best example for my dating analogy would be if I have a couple, for example, I have boy mouse and girl mouse, and they go through a breakup. So now, instead of they've started as a couple and they end as the individual people that came into that relationship at the beginning. Referencing the original skeleton equation for decomposition, in AB format I have AB yields A plus B, color-coded again so you can see in my real example reaction of 2AgO yields 2Hg plus O2. You can match up what part is coming from where in the decomposition reaction. Next up is a single replacement reaction. In a single replacement reaction, you start with a compound, which is an ionic compound. So I have a metal cation and a nonmetal anion. And that is going to, one of those ions, the cation or the anion, will be replaced by a cation or anion element. In this case, it would be a metal or a nonmetal that is not already bound to something else. It's not already part of a compound. So in this example that I have for a relationship, I have the current couple of boy mouse and girl mouse, and maybe things aren't working out so well between boy mouse and girl mouse. So girl mouse breaks up with boy mouse, and now she's going to start dating boy panda. In skeleton equation form again, I've got a single replacement or SR reaction, and I've written it in color code, so I have A plus BC going to AC plus B, which matches up with the example reaction of 2Ag plus H2S yields Ag2S plus H2. One thing a lot of people noticed was in the Flexbook, they give another example of they give it in like XYZ format. And part of that is because the single replacement reaction is very specific. In this case, my B is, when I write an ionic compound, B would be the metal or cation, and C would be the nonmetal or anion. So my A, for A and C to end up together, A would also have to be a metal or cation. C would still be a nonmetal or anion, and B would be some new metal, basically, some positively charged species that is now neutral and by itself. Finally, for the 4th act of my play, I present the double replacement reaction, which is defined as when the two metals in two different ionic compounds swap what nonmetal or anion they're with. So in the example of a relationship, this would be like starting with two couples and the two couples breaking up and one person from each of the couples swapping to end up with two brand new couples. So in my analogy, I currently have two couples here and they're going to break up. So the ladies and gentlemen are going to break up, and then the girls are going to start dating a different guy. And to wrap up the final act of my play, the double replacement or DR reaction, I have in skeleton form, AB format, I have AB plus CD yields AD plus CB, noticing again that my metal A and my metal C are now each with a different nonmetal. So I have AD plus CB. The example reaction I have is HCl plus NaOH yields HOH plus NaCl, keeping in mind that when you see HOH, that really means water. Okay? Well, hopefully this gave you guys some ideas of analogies you could use. There's also combustion reaction, so some of you guys have some interesting analogies to come up with for combustion. Remember that all combustion reactions and their product is always CO2 and H2O. Hope you guys have a great day.